welcome back to another video. I'm Michelle C. Smith, professional badass, and today in this video I'm going to show you how you can build your very own freestyle staff for under $15. Pretty crazy, right? Let's go. The most frequently asked question that I get on every single staff spinning video that I have ever posted is, where did you get your staff? What's a great staff for a beginner? Where can I buy that staff, or some iteration of that? And yes, you could go online and find an online martial arts retailer and buy a staff for $100. Totally fine. But a lot of people aren't looking to spend that much money. And if you're just getting into a new hobby or a practice like freestyle staff spinning, you don't want to invest that much money up front. You want to see if you like it first. So this is a really, really great option. So it's inexpensive, it's really easy to find, and also it's very light. You can change the lengths, and you can have multiple versions and different staves of different colors, the way you tape it, different lengths, different heights. All of that can be done with your very own DIY staff. And then later on, as you dive into the practice, you may want to invest in other staves and tools to broaden out your toolkit. But until then, this is just a really, really great option for your very first staff. So this is everything you need to build your own staff. These are wood dowels that I found at my hardware store. They're about $6 each. I like a 7/8 diameter and about 4 feet long, which is great because they come pre-cut at 4 feet, but you could go all the way up to 1 inch if you wanted to. Really depends on how big your hands are. You can sometimes find them in 6-foot lengths, or you can cut these ones down to 3 feet or 2 feet, depending on what length you're looking for in the moment. And next we have tape. Tape is a completely optional step. It's more of an aesthetic thing than anything. I like to have a variety of different aesthetics in my staff, so that's why I have a variety of tape here. So the silver tape is just air duct tape that you would find at the hardware store. Purple tape is duct tape, also found at a hardware store. The colored tape is a type of cloth tape. It's also called athletic tape. This is technically hockey tape, as you can see there, because I live in Canada and hockey is a thing. So I like to have multiple colors so that I can have multiple colors of staves. And then here we have some optional things. There's the washers that you would add to the end of your staff, which I'll show you in a second, if you wanted to add weight to it. And then these rubber stoppers that you can throw on the end as well if you're trying to protect your floors that you're working on, or minimize the noise from dropping your staff, because you will drop your staff. So this is everything that you need, and you can get it for under $15. Okay, let's build a staff. Now, lately, I've been using my staves as is. I just throw a little bit of tape on it and I'm good to go. So that's totally an option, but I know some people like a little bit more weight to their staff. It's gonna help you feel it, and you can feel it on your skin a little bit more. So that's where the washers are gonna come in. So I've picked up a few of them. You only need a few on each end. You'll be surprised how much weight each of these washers will add. And what you're gonna do is you're just going to place a washer on top of the staff, and then you're gonna tape it on. And when I say tape it on, I mean really tape it on, because you are going to be dropping frequently, often, and it often is hitting on the edge of the staff. So you wanna make sure that the washers are very secure on the end of your staff. So what I do is I place the washer in the middle of the tape, and then I just plop it on top, push the ends down, put it all down, and then I'm gonna repeat that process several times on both ends. I like to create a full cross for each washer. So each washer layer is gonna have its own layer of 2 pieces of tape. So that's one end. We'll do the other end. All right, so I've completed the washers. I know it doesn't look very nice right now, but don't worry, we're gonna add tape that's gonna cover that all up. Now, I like to add the silver tape to my staff. it catches on camera a little bit better. It creates a little bit of a flash. You don't have to do that. You could just leave the wood aesthetic if that's something that you're into, something a little bit more natural. Just make sure that you grab some sandpaper at the hardware store as well so that you can sand down your staff so you don't get any splinters. Now, if I chose just to have the washers and no silver tape, what I would do is take the same tape that I used or a different color, you never know, and I'm just gonna wrap around the circumference of the staff where I've placed my washer. So I'm gonna take this tape and then I'm just gonna put it down on the edge there and then wrap it all the way around the end. So that cleans it up a little bit, and then I'll add one more layer under that so that it looks clean. Just like that, nice and clean. And it adds a little bit of color to it. Again, like I said, you could just leave the ends as is. You don't have to put any washers on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so now let's say that we're gonna add just tape in the middle. We're not gonna add any silver tape to it. So what you wanna do is you wanna find the correct amount of space that you want to tape your staff. I like to do about 1/3 of the staff right in the middle of my tape in the middle. So I'm gonna find that. It doesn't have to be exact. You can always fix it later with extra tape. And I'm gonna add a different color of tape to that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one end and I'm gonna start by wrapping it. I'm gonna guesstimate here. I'm gonna wrap it around my staff once so that it has something to fix itself to. And then I'm just gonna spiral it all the way down the staff until I'm ready to stop. So you might just have to eyeball it a little bit. If you're getting super precise, you could measure it, but that's a lot of work. And I just want my staff to be done now. So here we go. So there it is. Now I have tape in the middle. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And you know, generally nobody's really gonna know if it's a little bit uneven on one side or the other. What you could do if you're looking to just create a certain aesthetic or make it look a little bit fancier, you could put different colors of tape as an anchor point on each end. I will usually add the same color of tape in the middle just to anchor it around on each end. But let's say we put green on there because we made green ends, and it's gonna make our staff look super fancy. Like that. This is like 90s grade 2 staff. There you go. That took me less than 5 minutes, and now I have a perfectly workable DIY freestyle staff for under $10. Look at that. I'm gonna show you how I make my silver staves like this one. So I'm not gonna add the washers to the end of this one, but what I am gonna do is cover the ends here. And again, you could use any color of tape that you want. I'm gonna stick with this green because it's bright, and I like that. I like a little bit of contrast. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cover the ends like I did with the washers. So I'm crossing it on both sides of it because we are gonna cover the bottom half here. Again, it doesn't have to look pretty. It just needs to cover all the wood around. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side. There we go. Okay, so both sides, there's no washers. And I'm gonna use the silver tape for this, and essentially I'm gonna tape until just under my tape mark that I'm gonna add with the hockey tape. So I'm only going to tape about this much on either end with the silver tape. The silver tape is a little bit more time consuming because it doesn't wrap well at all, and it's kind of like paper. Like I can just rip it really easily. So you gotta create a little bit of a system here. Now what I like to do is rip off a certain amount, peel the end back. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. And then I'm going to line it up with the edge here the best I can. I'm gonna smooth it out the best I can. I'm gonna wrap it around and then peeling the tape away and pulling it tight. as I wrap and roll the staff, that is the best way that I've found. And then you just go all the way down. It does create a little bit of garbage though, which is kind of frustrating. If you could try and wrap it lengthwise, that could also be a thing. So again, I would start in the same way, rip off a little piece, place it. I'm gonna overlap each layer here, and that won't show up after a while. Once you start using it, it'll all smooth itself out. So don't worry if there's a little bit of wrinkles in it. I'm just going to place it down there, make sure it's down, and then I'm just trying to keep it center along the staff, which is really, really hard to do, which is why I don't use this method. I'm gonna just stop right there while I ahead and don't mess it up. And then you can wrap it around this way, and then you can finish off the other side. I prefer the horizontal way rather than the vertical way, but you can play with it and experiment with it. Luckily, you get quite a bit of tape on a roll, so it's not like you're gonna run out anytime soon. I'm just gonna finish off this last one just like that because I don't want it to look that ugly. Push down, rip it off, wrap it around. That was way better than the last one. And so it looks like that. So either way is gonna work with you. It's just a matter of experimenting and seeing which way you like the best. I'm gonna continue wrapping this, and then we'll talk about the middle tape wrap after I finish the silver part. Watch this. This is how I make the cats come. Oh, it's exciting. Didn't work. So we're gonna add the tape to the middle. It's gonna be exactly the same as the last staff. I'm just trying to do about 1/3 of the staff. Again, if you mess it up, that's okay. You can just add more tape to the end or just use it as is, because nobody's gonna be able to tell when you're spinning it really fast. So I'm just gonna anchor one end, wrap it around, and then just wrap away. And I think that's it. So that took me slightly longer than the other one, obviously, but under 10 minutes, and you have a very fancy staff. And it does have a little bit of wrinkles in it, but those will diminish over time, and you won't even be able to see them. You won't even be able to see the seams of the tape, but it's just gonna look like a metal staff on camera, when actually it's just a wood dowel and some tape. Now the last thing I want to talk about are these rubber stoppers. These are completely optional. I don't tend to use them, but I know that some people practicing in apartments or places with hardwood floors, you want to make sure that these ends, especially if you have washers on them, aren't smashing the floor and damaging anything. Also, it is quite loud if you're dropping on a hardwood floor, so the rubber stoppers can actually be really helpful in taking care of some of that noise. So all you're gonna do is you're just gonna push it down onto the end. I got stoppers to match the same diameter as my staff, so 7/8, and they just pop right on. You could even put a little bit of glue under there so that they are permanently there, because you never know, they might sort of fly off or wedge off. They're quite tight, so I'm not worried about them flying off, but if you wanna glue them down, totally cool. So that's it. And just be aware that the rubber stoppers are going to add some weight. So maybe you don't need washers at all. Maybe you just need rubber stoppers. So because everything is super cheap, it's really easy to sort of get a variety of everything, and you can try it out. And I often will buy multiple staves at once so that I have different options to go to. So you could make one with no extra tape, just some fancy tape in the middle, or you could create one that looks like this and has some rubber stoppers on it. It is totally up to you. This is all about finding your staff that works for you your own individual tool, because everybody is unique, and so that means everybody needs a unique tool and staff to go with that. So now that you've built your very own freestyle staff, it's time to practice with it. And lucky for you, I have tons of educational tutorials and content. So there is my free course, which is the 5 essential skills of staff spinning. That's a really great place to start if you're a brand new beginner. There's also tons of free tutorials right here on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment down below with what your favorite skill is or what you want to learn with your staff, and have fun browsing that playlist. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you all next time. Fucking fly. Okay. Welcome back to There's a Fucking Fly. Okay. So one of my, not one of, like, so you want to make sure that the washers are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Secure. Okay. I'm going to show you how I build my silver staffs. Like, I don't know where it went. Can we grab that one? This one. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh, I fucked it up. Push them down. Oh, fuck. Let's try that again.